Hey everyone, it's the Sagan from Scientists Say. Welcome to the first official video of Shocktober 2016. So, this is going to be the first in a playthrough of a game called Shivers. It's a game that's very near and dear to my heart. For those that aren't familiar with it, it is a point-and-click style adventure game. I think the original Myst, The Seventh Guest, if you ever played that, was created by the same company. Did this, but I love Shivers. I love the atmosphere of it. The gist of the story is that you're locked in an abandoned museum overnight, and you are basically trying to survive, and I'll explain why as we get into the game. But yeah, I actually wanted to do this last year for Shocktober 2015, but it was early on in our YouTube career, and I felt like I wasn't being interesting enough doing it. And so, but here I am giving it another shot because I really want to do this for Shocktober. If I sound tired, I apologize for that. It is currently, well, it's after midnight on Pacific time. It's almost 3 in the morning where I'm at now. I figure, hey, what the hell? We're in October, we need to start getting videos up. So let's get started with this. Now, I've been having some technical issues. As you can see, I'm running an XP virtual machine. Just even play this game because it was meant for Windows 95, Windows 98. XP is the absolute latest operating system I can get it to run with because it is a 16-bit game. And I've been having some issues with the videos that play in it. So, with any luck, they'll play perfectly as they have, about half the time that I try this. If they don't, I will edit in a better resolution copy of the video. So with that being said, let's get started. Okay, so yeah, unfortunately the video is small. It's okay, I'll replace it with a higher resolution one because I'm tired of messing with this. I want to get started on this. Okay, so here we are on the menu. By the way, I fucking love the soundtrack for this game. Okay, so let's go and start a new game.
Perhaps you would like to enter your name in the museum guest book.
I think I can actually, yeah, look at that, I can type it. I mean, it's more fun to click the keys, but okay, so let's get started.
This dare was kind of your idea, you know. But I'm glad I'm me out here and not you in there.
I think I've heard those same loving words before. Like the time you guys dared me to spend the night at that cemetery. You know, if you die in the museum tonight, I'll make sure she gives a eulogy at your funeral.
Okay, so your friends were
We never would have made you
assholes.
spend the night here if you hadn't talked about this place so much.
Yeah, we thought you'd been kind of, well, obsessed, thinking you hearing voices and stuff coming from the museum and all. Too weird for me.
Hey, you know, maybe they're the voices of those kids who disappeared 15 years ago.
Right, the police never found the bodies. Or the killer.
Yeah, and my sister, you know, Julie, the one in college, says Professor Windlenut went insane. He viciously murdered them and then buried their bodies in the basement of the museum. Well, what if he's hiding in that creepy museum right now, just waiting for another victim?
Yeah, and the ghost of his victims are calling out, warning you.
Ring, ring. Hello? I think it's for you.
That was just a dog howling.
There was something more than that.
Well, I didn't hear anything. I think this place is just getting us all spooked.
Are you sure you want to go through with this? You
No.
can back out at
No,
any
I'm not.
time.
But of course, if you did, you'd probably never live down the chicken jokes.
That's true.
You'll be all right. Come on, I don't want to be late for the movie. We'll be back at dawn to let you out.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Later.
Peace.
mean, you're already kind of the fifth wheel since there's obviously two couples there. Okay, so two things. First of all, those kids are not in high school. Bullshit. Second of all, for context, this game takes place in the year it was released, 1995, which is why that intro was just 90s as fuck. I mean, 90s as fuck, but I like it. Okay, so here we are at the gate for the museum. If we go over here, we have Professor Windlenut's, and somebody's crossed out to say Windlenut, Museum of the Strange and Unusual, opening soon. Gonna take a look around here. So if we go back to the gate, there's this interesting looking gargoyle head here. Or maybe it's a dragon. So it turns out that's his mailbox. There's a letter here that has clearly been here a long time. Alright, it's postmarked 1984. So we're looking at 16 years ago from where this game takes place. Or excuse me, I cannot do... Yeah, it's 84, sorry. Cannot do math. we're looking at 11 years. So it's a letter from his lawyer saying that he's passing on his service to his son, who will continue to service the professor's family, and he was basically surprised that he didn't see the professor at his son Jeffrey's wedding. But obviously this letter's been here a long time and nobody's ever gotten to it. Okay, so we have a number here, 29. That'll play in here momentarily. Okay, so full disclosure before we get into this, I've played this game multiple times, so I know the solution for most of the puzzles, but I will not be looking up anything should I forget solutions, with the exception of one, possibly two puzzles, and I will only be doing that for brevity and speed reasons, so I don't spend, half an entry trying to solve it, because they are rather difficult puzzles. So I'm going to do this playthrough kind of normally, where I'm going to play through and I'm going to commentate, and however long it takes me to beat this is how long it takes me to beat this. Then I'm going to do a second run that will be purely a speed run, because as I said, I know all these solutions, and if I don't need to show off parts of the game, I can probably run through this game, I'm not gonna say in an hour. I would say, maybe 2 hours. If I just flat out go solve everything, and what have you. But anyway, this is not that run. This is me going through the game normally. So we've gone up to the front door of the museum here. Let's ring the doorbell.
Welcome to Professor Windlenut's Museum of the Strange and Unusual. Unfortunately, the museum is still preparing exhibits and hopes you will visit when we open sometime in the near future.
I'd also like to take a moment to mention that the guy that did all of these voiceovers and narration for this game, fucking love his voice. Yes, he's basically doing a Rod Serling impression. Don't care. Sounds awesome. Well, shit. Okay, the door's locked. So obviously we can't go in that way. So let's continue exploring. Excuse me just a second. Large dinner. Okay, so I should note that there is replay value to this game, even though I know all the solutions, because I want to point out, so we have this boss here, but we have this interesting little panel back here with a different symbol. I'm going to play through first few puzzles of the game up to a certain point, and that's where I'll stop at the first entry. At where I stop at the end of this video, that is the only set portion of this game. Like, the first few events will always play out the same. After that, the locations of our objectives, which I'll get to in a minute, are completely randomized. So I got this jade tile back here. Excuse me again. Alright, so we can't go on, but there's a lake here, but you can see there's some, like, stepping stones. Okay, so there's this thing in the gazebo here. This is basically our first puzzle. We need a number. Well, we have 29, so let's give that a try. Okay, so that was kind of part one. I'll call this still one puzzle, even though it's kind of, you know, two parts there. Okay, so the objective of this puzzle is to reverse the gears, black on the bottom, white on top, but we have only 7 moves to do so. So, if I remember right, we could do it like this. Can you tell I've done this one a few times? Okay. Okay, so to obviously make things a little more interesting, well, let me get through this. Okay, so let me back out of that. So we have this replica of Stonehenge. We have another symbol over here, and then we have these symbols on the ground. So I think at this point you kind of realize what we need to do here, as we've seen these various symbols and materials around the grounds. And we need to make those match up. So, the gold, we saw that. That looked like that kind of arrow piece. We just saw this symbol in the rock face. And then, that one's already set to the jade piece as well. So we've actually seen this one, and if you didn't catch it, it was over the doors to the museum. That's made of metal. Oops. That was the rainbow. And then we could probably just brute force these other two. Okay, so the bench we passed by, I didn't bother to walk around it, but that symbol is carved into the front of the bench. And this one we'll just brute force. Okay, so there's a spiral staircase going down. So let me give a little context to the story, as there will be items throughout the game that will sort of reveal that, but I may not hit them all, and you know, I don't want to bore you with having to pause the video and everything. I'm sorry, I'm kind of just going on autopilot, not really doing what I'm intending to do here. So basically, this museum was built by this professor in 1980, or began construction, and it was supposed to open within like 2 or 3 years. Kept getting pushed back, pushed back. Eventually, it's been under construction for almost, 15 years, and the professor at this point has vanished. Nobody's seen him, and there's two. And I'm actually like this. I'm not even getting the time frame right. By the time of 1980, where the kids disappeared that were mentioned in the intro video, and the professor has disappeared, the museum itself had already been under construction for almost 20 years. Okay, so we have this tunnel down here. And as you can see, it's very dark, and we cannot see where we're going. There's a lot of creepy noises. which is kind of interesting. Since I know what to do for this puzzle, I gotta tell you, playing through this at 3 in the morning is already a little creepy because you hear that, like the grinding stone, like there's something moving around. So here's the thing about this, is that I'm going around in a circle basically, and you cannot leave this area unless we get some light and see where we're going, and that's actually where this box is. I was initially going to skip past, but again, on autopilot, so I just immediately went to go turn it on. And sunlight's not nearly so scary. So basically we have this big kind of roundabout tunnel, but you can see there's a hallway off to the left here that we couldn't see in the dark. Basically kept walking right past it. So one can assume this was the professor's secret entrance to the museum. So a fun little bit of trivia about this doorway. There's a random event that sometimes when you open it, a bunch of bats will fly out. And the first time that happened, that scared the shit out of me because I was not expecting it. Okay, so we have kind of an underground lake here. It's definitely got an ancient Egyptian motif. So, this boat. Oh, and then we have this. So that looks to be a dead body. In fact, I dare say that is the body of our missing professor. So he's drawn this symbol in the dirt here. He's holding this book, Egyptian Hieroglyphs Explained. Maybe was he trying to translate the wall? Who knows? So, book has various cartouches and basic Egyptian symbols, including all the directions, and then it looks like there's been a page that's been torn out. So that's something we'll find later. And here's something else. For the time that this game came out, this is an awesome feature. So in the menu, we have the ability to flashback.
Care to refresh your memory?
Which then lets you rewatch the intro movie and the Egyptian Hieroglyphs Explained. Basically any book or anything like that you find in the game you'd want to refer back to, it all shows up here, which is great because for anybody that's played Myst or any of the earlier games like that, generally you've got a notepad you have to write everything down. I'm going to test one thing before I keep going here. Nope, okay, intro movie's still screwed up. I don't know why, but whatever. Okay, so let's get into the museum proper. Just to make sure. Okay, good. We're recording good. Wow, we're already 20 minutes here. I may have to cut this sooner than I thought. Okay, so in the boat, and we want to go forward. Oh, it doesn't turn. Parking brake? Well, that doesn't go either. So this one turns, but the boat can't go this way. So let's put on the parking brake over there. And release the parking brake over here. hopefully in post I will slow that down so it's properly kind of what it should be, i.e. a bit of a jump scare. So what we were just attacked by there was an evil spirit that has stolen some of our life essence. And that's the goal of the game. We're stuck in this museum. There's these spirits on the loose, and we need to find a way to capture them or stop them, or basically we'll never get out. Okay, looks like we've hit shore. We have this interesting looking pot over here.
"15 long years in this prison. You, get out. Do not meddle in things beyond your understanding. You will pay for your curiosity. You are in grave danger. They are so evil. Already some of your life essence has been stolen. I was too old, not fast enough. The Ixupi are so evil. It is imperative to find all the vessels, because it seems only when they are united with their talismans do they have any power. My plan was to use them on the Ixupi before any more of them escape into the world. I believe they cannot resist the vessels as long as they're with the talismans and you approach directly. This vessel here is of no use to you, however. Its Ixupi is the one who robbed me of my essence. And he has escaped into the world. And they've ruined my museum!
Okay, so that was the ghost of our missing professor. And he was trapped inside this jar. And it's gotta be some kind of hell. But hey, we've set him free now, right? That's all good. Okay, let's continue on. So I actually, in the process of trying to fix the issue with the video, I did a little research on the game. And every single one of these screens that I'm clicking through and it's changing the view here, you know, that, you know, what have you. Each one of these was actually a watercolor that was hand painted by an artist and then scanned and then touched up in Photoshop. And that's kind of incredible to me, you know. Huh, interesting. Okay, so we've hit an elevator here. Let's see if we can open her up. Okay, so welcome to the elevator puzzle. The professor was a bit of a nut and designed everything to work around puzzles. So even the elevators run on puzzles. And they're all like this, and they vary in difficulty. So the general objective is to create a diagonal line. But it's annoying when you have, you know, these spots have been blocked off, so okay, there we go, and got it. Okay, so that opens up the elevator. And we can go on. Okay, and that puts us in the museum proper. And just checking my time. It looks like we're about 25 minutes, so in the interest of time, I'm going to cut this one here. I was going to go farther, but let's be honest, I'll be going for, you know, half an hour, 45 minutes. And I think that's a long for one entry. I appreciate that you guys enjoy watching this stuff. So I'm going to try and keep these shorter. So cut the first one here. So this is the first entry for Shocktober. And I'll be back in the next one. So hope you enjoyed. Until next time, you stay classy, Internet.